What's up, Lily?
What's up?
I am going to do my very best not to fall asleep during this podcast.
You have been sleeping literally all day.
Well, no, not that. It's the fact that I just ate so much food. Allie just cooked so much food. Are you not full right now?
I ate a normal amount of food, like a normal human.
I did. I did not eat a normal amount. The only thing that I ate today was a bowl of cereal and all those cookies.
We're currently starving ourselves. That's what the corona apocalypse has done.
Yeah, well, because this was like my first real meal, I ate a lot, and I just feel the food coma setting in. Even before Allie went into the other room, and I hear the dogs barking out. Even before she went into the other room, I was like, oh god, I'm gonna get sleepy here pretty soon. So.
No. Nope. No, stay awake. You're talking to me. You gotta stay awake.
I know. How is this the first time that we've done a podcast together?
It's because you hate me. That's why.
I feel like I started doing it 2 years ago. Granted, it's been a while since I've done it regularly, but
that's true.
All the little kids are like, "Get Lily on. Here you go, kids."
She doesn't want to talk to the children.
She sucks.
She hates the children.
What'd you think of practice today? Pretty good?
It wasn't too bad.
I liked it.
I only got yelled at a little bit, so that's less than normal.
Ray was pretty chill today, I thought.
Yeah, he's been chill this last week or so.
I feel like most coaches across the country right now, like D1 coaches, I guess all sports, but particularly in swimming, it's the first time they're able to take a real break. Mm-hmm. It's a forced break. You can't coach. The only thing they can really do is recruiting stuff. They're making recruiting calls, but that's it. And it might go on until, who knows, late July right now.
Yeah. And it's kind of crazy that Ray's been so calm. Because normally, when he's been on a coaching break, he comes back and coaches super hard.
Yeah.
Super hard.
Well, I think he's good at reading the room, though. He understands that we're there because we're the ultra dedicated, but given the circumstances, we're all just kind of lucky and happy to be there. Yeah. Legally, I might add. We are legally allowed to be there. We are in a group of 4. We have legal permission. Half the time we're working out, we have a police officer with us, which is true.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is completely true.
It's true. Yeah. And we're totally social distancing. I mean, you're basically my sister, and you don't see anyone that's not me or 2 of the other people we swim with because you live by yourself.
Yes.
I live with Allie, who hasn't left the house in a week. Actually, more than that.
So actually, we're doing very well.
Yeah.
I didn't even go to Target today. I online ordered from Target. So I'm really killing the social distancing game.
What did you order?
Dumb stuff. Bed sheets.
Oh, adult stuff?
Not sponges. I got a dish scrubber.
Oh, man.
I did get a cat leash.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Let it be known. I'm not... also got to plug it. Go follow at @LilKittyMinnie on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. You got a kitty.
Yeah, you got to follow my cat, Minnie. She's the best.
It's so weird because my sister Katie has a cat named Minnie, too. That's so crazy.
She copied me.
No, she didn't. She got that years ago. It's just weird.
Let it be known, I'm not walking my cat. It is a safety precaution so she can go out on my balcony and not jump. So I just want to go sit outside and read. That's all I want to do.
Man. But yeah, I feel like it's the first time coaches are able to take that deep breath because they're forced to. And Ray's such a coach who is so intense all the time. He always needs to be busy, which I kind of thrive under. I mean, you kind of thrive under, but I mean, I don't know.
It's weird, and we're kind of in a similar situation. Just we're not. It's the first time, probably ever, that we haven't been in full training, on go mode all the time. Yeah. And it's weird. It's weird. It's kind of nice. It is. But it's kind of weird. It's starting to become more normal.
It is starting to become a little bit more normal. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, time will tell, but because we've at the end of the season have taken a week or 2 off where we kind of work out a little bit, but this is we're training 50% ish. But just the fact that we have pool space, I mean, there's a handful of swimmers around the country that we know that are swimming that can, that have the opportunity to, but most people running on the treadmill, doing some burpees, doing whatever they can.
Cross training, as they like to call it. Swimming in lakes.
Silly cross training.
Which is going to be us.
We should say Tier just sent us wetsuits. Oh, yeah. So Ray lives on a lake. We're probably going to do that.
Yeah. Also, I have a wetsuit story that I have to share with everyone. Yeah. So I get my wetsuit and I'm super excited. Of course, the first thing you do when you get a new suit is try it on. At least that's what I do. and because I have to make sure I look good in it, right? And so I'm putting my wetsuit on, and it is not going on, guys. Like, it's not. So I've got it like most of the way up, and like the crotch is just not fitting. It's so weird, so strange. I'm like, this does not fit any human being on this planet. And so I like zip it up, like turn around to look at the back of it. I've got it on backwards. These are the things that happen when you live by yourself, guys. The video like, you put your wetsuit on backwards and don't even realize it.
Well, was that the first wetsuit you'd ever put on?
Yeah.
That's why. I mean, you just didn't think about it.
Yeah, and everyone's like, it zips up the back. You're so stupid. And I was like, I realized that once I had it on.
You were just too excited. You couldn't help it.
I know. It's like, says a life jacket zips up the front.
Yes.
So that is confusing.
It is a little, well, yeah. I mean, once again, if you've never put one on before, it makes sense.
And I realized that it said tier on the front and the back.
And the back, yeah.
So,
Lake swim will be fun.
I'm actually really excited for that.
It's been a long time since I've swam in a lake.
I don't think I've ever like swam in a lake.
Dude, have you seen me limping around today? Did you notice that I was walking kind of funny?
Oh, you said your foot was bruised,
right? I did, because on Sunday morning I went on I probably ran like 5 miles, which isn't as much as I've ran other weekends, and like I don't know, I like messed up it hurts.
You need
I like bruised something.
You
know what's funny? The first time I ran like the 10 miles or however far I went, I ran in my CrossFit shoes, which are not running shoes. Don't run in those. I didn't have any issues though. Like my feet were a little sore, but nothing bad. And then on this last run I went on, I wore my Asics, like my actual running shoes, and now I have like a real foot problem. It didn't make any sense.
Interesting.
I know.
I bet your feet like collapse. Did your feet collapse in like mine do?
Yeah, I've got some funky feet.
My dad had to get me motion control shoes, aka like fat people shoes.
What?
Because my feet are so
That's a thing?
My feet are so flimsy. Oh yeah, that's a thing. My dad also used to work at a shoe store, so he like knows.
I didn't know that.
All the shoe stuff.
Well, most shoes I wear, ever since I hurt my knee, I always wear like very expensive orthotics, like orthotics that were custom made for my feet.
And that makes sense.
Yeah, and so maybe not wearing them, that's another thing. It's like, maybe. Your dad worked in a shoe store?
He did. My dad was a runner.
Yeah.
That's like being a lifeguard, right?
Yeah, kind of. I was never a lifeguard. Were you a lifeguard?
Nope, not certified.
But we know people that,
but most everyone else was. Normal. It's because we were busy swimming. We were busy being awesome. Didn't have time to lifeguard. Also, I would have gotten skin cancer if I lifeguarded. That wouldn't be good.
I sifted through some Instagram questions. I put out a poll the other day asking for this. And the first one I came across, we're going to get real deep here. This one came from Michael N49. He said, do you get much hate? And if you do, how do you deal with it?
Ooh, I love the hate. I think we are probably the swimming world's most hated swimmers.
I mean, we've taken more heat than most people. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's been warranted, sometimes it's not been warranted.
Yeah, sometimes I definitely have deserved it at some points.
As have I.
But
we take a lot of heat regardless. I mean, like for me, given the lifestyle that I have, that I just put myself out there, like that comes with the territory of people are going to be openly criticizing you. That's just the world that we live in.
And I think yours has been better since you started the vlog.
Oh, I think so too.
It's gotten a lot better. Well, I think, like, oh, he's not a terrible human being. I'm shocked.
He's actually nice.
He must be awful.
I mean, the only other person I can think of is Lochte. Like Lochte's taken a lot of heat.
Yeah.
And honestly, some of it warranted, but most of it not.
Like,
no. He really
like if you ever met that dude,
he's such a good guy.
He's awesome.
He really is.
Like I didn't really get to know him very well in 2016 because it was like my first national team and his like 28th or something. I don't know, 28th, but yeah, I've like actually gotten to know him since we've like started doing tier stuff, and he's awesome.
He's such a good dude. I mean, I've been on national teams with him for years now, and I've seen him time after time do selfless acts.
Yeah.
You know, just doing things for the team, and he's like a guy that you could ask for anything, and he would be like,
he's an awesome dude. Awesome dude.
I agree.
So good with the kids.
So good with the kids.
Which is something, unfortunately, I feel like we rarely see in the swimming world.
Really? You think so?
Not like Ryan does, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He goes over and beyond. Oh my gosh. I've seen him at Pro Series meets where he was doing autographs and selfies for hours.
Hours.
Yeah. Just trying to be good. Like,
yeah. I've seen him doing that for my friends.
Yeah.
You know?
I do feel like you and I both kind of thrive a little bit with the hate. Like I kind of make a little bit of lemonade.
I do enjoy the hate. I enjoy the hate so much. Does it get under my skin a little bit sometimes, occasionally?
That's natural.
But I enjoy the hate and the ridiculous comments so much that I think of when people aren't commenting weird and crazy things about me. I need to go do something stupid so people do start commenting mean and awful things about me. I hope that's not
true. I hope.
Well, that's how the hate started in the first place.
I hope that neither of us ever do anything that warrants like real public scrutiny like that again. We've both been through the ringer on that.
Yeah, I mean,
and I will say like the important thing that I want like that kids ask, the thing that they need to understand is, and it took me a while to get here. It took me a while to really feel this way and believe it, but when it comes to like hate on the internet, like comments on Instagram, comments on YouTube, swam, whatever it is, that is not a normal form of human interaction. It's not real. No. It's not real. And most often when people are saying those kinds of things, that wouldn't be the case if you were sitting at a table face to face.
Right.
They would never say those things or in that way. And there's something about the way the brain perceives things when it's written down. It's just that reading something negative sticks with you, regardless of if it comes from a place of someone you've never met before.
An anonymous commenter.
Yeah, and it like messes with your head. But for me, it took me a while to realize like most of those people, those trolls that are saying things, have never accomplished anything in their life. Most of those people, the saying hurt people is true, right? Like people who are hurting themselves lash out at others and they try to bring other people down. And like, I think about it, I'm like, who is sitting there looking through articles on swimming just to spew venom and be mean to other people? Like, what kind of life are you living?
Yeah.
And so like when I take a step back and I realize, I'm like, who is spending the time to say things about me that number one, probably aren't true, and number two, they've never met me before in their entire life. Like, they don't really know me. I would like to think that most people out there, if they were to sit down with you and I, like, we go to lunch, we would probably get along.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think a lot of people, like, you and Allie have both told me this, like people ask you guys about me. Like, Like, I think a lot of people don't understand that, like, my normal day-to-day personality is not what you see on TV.
100%.
Because me on TV is a nasty, evil human being. I'm horrible. You know, I'm in race mode, like, and a lot of the time for those races, like, I've got to get real nasty or I'm not going to win the race. But yeah, I think the fact that, you know, again, hurt people, but like, I don't think they realize the effect that has on some people. No, like, and where, you know, I jokingly say, like, I enjoy the hate. Well, I do to some extent, but like, I don't think I've ever told you this, but I remember sitting in my room in Rio, 19 years old, like, I'm a freaking little kid. And like, I had just had enough, and it was like my first kind of big round of the hate. And it's such a big stage, and so exploded after the whole finger wag incident. Like, I was getting attacked by Russians, obviously, by Americans, by lots of people who thought I was being unsportsmanlike for basically speaking the truth. And I was just like sitting in my room crying. Like, I just had it. And it was just like so overwhelming to, you know, have, like, I had to turn comments off on my pictures. I was getting 10,000 comments on my pictures. I've done that
recently.
Yeah. And again, like last summer I was getting attacked by the Chinese after I spoke out about Sun Yang.
Dude, me too. Oh my gosh. I did a podcast with Blake like a year ago when the controversy came out about him smashing the vial. And the next day, my email had been spammed thousands of times.
It's insane.
From Chinese basically telling me, like, I mean, there were like death threats.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've gotten.
Like, it's like, oh my
yeah,
gosh.
Guys, like, it gets to the point where, like, you're getting death threats, and like I've definitely gotten multiple death threats before, which is, you know, is it something to take concern of? Maybe, you know. I don't know to the extent of, you know, if this person is real or if this person is a bot, and it's kind of scary. But, you know, when it comes to commenters, you know, you just kind of got to laugh at them because they're really commenting because they want to be you. They envy you.
Yes. 100. And it like, I want to say that it doesn't bother me anymore because most of the time it doesn't, but everybody's human, and once in a while something slips by and
it gets you,
and it gets you, and it really sucks. But I think that the way to combat that and to handle that, like if someone says that you're ugly or you look weird, or how many times someone says that my chest looks funny, or, you know, whatever it is, sometimes if there's like a semblance of truth to it, right? Like, I for a long time was super self-conscious about the way that I looked, and I've been attacked for the way that I looked or things that I've said or things that I've done. And people just don't understand that, as I said earlier, most of the time it's like it's not even real, because it's not a normal form of human interaction, because those people, if you were sitting at a table with them, they might dislike you or they might have an opinion about you, but it would never come across that way. It wouldn't. It's like a faceless way.
The internet commenters never have the balls to say it to your face.
That's true.
If you did, then come say it to my face.
That's true. And most of those people, they don't really even understand what they're doing. No, they don't understand what they're saying. And it's just not healthy. And I feel like we're living in an era where this whole social media communication, DMs, Instagram, everything, like it's all, we forget because it's so embedded into our culture. It's something that we're all addicted to and we use every single day, but we forget that it's like, it's so new and we don't really know much about it.
Right.
And what I mean about that is, like, 10 years ago, none of this really existed. 15 years ago, all these social media problems we're having where kids are getting cyberbullied and this and that, that stuff just didn't exist.
No.
And now we are learning as we go how to handle and perceive and deal with these kinds of things. And most people have never had to deal with, those kinds of things that you and I have dealt with.
Not to our extent.
Not to that scale.
Not to the scale.
No. Yeah. But even just, like 14-year-old girls who have Instagram accounts see something nasty, one comment, and that triggers them. And it's not okay, and you can't let it affect you, because you have to understand what it is.
Yeah.
You have to understand that it's not real.
Yeah. The hate,
man. The hate. I do thrive on like a little bit of haters. It's kind of funny. Though.
I remember reading something that was I used to drink a Coke before all of my races. I kind of still do it.
Yeah, you kind of still do.
Shut up. I used to do it every race. I do it most races now. But I read a comment that was like, well, she's all about, busting these drug cheaters and blah, 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 blah. And I'm, of course, reading this like a redneck.
I love that you just said
and someone's like, well, caffeine's a drug. Somebody better test her for that Coke she's drinking before a race.
Oh my God.
I was like, bro. Like, this is wild. I was like, and that's the thing, like, some of those things that are meant to be hateful are so funny because they're so ridiculous. So those are the ones that feel you.
Yeah. I will never to this day ever respond to anything that is ever negative written about me in a comment, or I do my best to not read that kind of stuff, but I won't, because I don't think that, I would say 99% of people who post really long Facebook posts about a various topic that they feel strongly about, and then they get into back and forth arguments with people on Facebook. It's never ending, and 99% of the time, no one's ever going to change their mind, because you're missing all of the human elements that go into a normal conversation. Right? When you're not able to see the person, and when you're not able to express the passion visually through your body language and really connect with someone the way we are, just sitting across from one another, the messaging does not get across. No. It's not effective. It's not, as much as I love using social media, it's not an effective way of communicating when it comes to, having conversations through comments. Right. And
the thing is, like, you'll go back and forth and you look like an idiot if you're going back and forth with some random person on Twitter. Yeah. So that is not what you want for yourself or for your brand, or it's just bad. I will occasionally subtweet someone. I will. Because that is my kind of humor, and it's funny. But
when it's funny, sometimes
it's okay. Usually like a news reporter that says something stupid. Oh man! Like, oh really? I swam a 200 backstroke. Thanks for paying attention. But yeah.
How good was it when that reporter contacted you about the April Fool's article?
Oh, this is the best.
It's the best. You have to tell it. You have to tell it.
So on April Fool's, Slim Swam came out with this article that was saying FINA was drastically changing the breaststroke rules. We were going to be able to start doing flip turns and kick to 15, which
great prank.
Great prank.
Great job, Swim.
Because I feel like people have talked about that.
Oh yeah.
A little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But anyway, that would basically put all the breaststrokers out of business.
Yeah.
Because only a few of us can actually kick.
Yeah. It would just change.
Anyway, I had a reporter from the Wall Street Journal, but Washington Post. It was the Washington Post. Like, it wasn't like some dinky little newspaper. It was the Washington Post. Text me and say, hey, can you give me a call sometime later today? I'd love to get your comments on the new FINA rules. And I texted back, be like, dude, it's April 1st.
And that they had already definitely been writing an article.
It was so funny. And I felt bad. He was so embarrassed. But it was so funny. I wasn't even mad. Like,
such an established journal.
So funny.
Oh my goodness.
Washington Post.
That's so funny.
There you go.
My GM, Caitlin Sandino, shout out for the DC Tridents. She sent in a topic. She said, silver linings during this hard time.
Ooh.
I've been doing some thinking about this, and I hope that, you know, as we start to flatten this curve and as the virus and the pandemic starts to settle down, my hope is that we stop taking things for granted. Like, just are really, and I'm speaking for like the Americans that I know that live in this area that I'm in contact with on a regular basis, just the things that we do on a regular basis that we never really second guess. And everyone has been doing so well for so long. And now because that's shifted, I just hope that people have a better appreciation and understanding for how good we really have it. You know, for me, just being able to like go to the movie theater and go to dinner, and understand that I'm safe the whole time. And, now that those things are obviously not possible. And that's just one example. I hope that it helps people broaden their perspective a little bit.
Yeah, I think I've just kind of realized like how quickly everything can be taken away, which is something I feel like I was, you know, so privileged being able to, and I wasn't very grateful for it, being able to swim as much as I was, because that was just normal life. It wasn't a privilege to be at practice. I was just going to practice. It wasn't something I was hunting for. I wasn't hunting for pool time. But also I think this year, with the Olympics being postponed, I'm kind of taking that silver lining is, you know, I've basically have a redo year. Like if, you know, you get to the Olympics and you look back and you say, oh, I wish I had done this. I wish I had done that. Like we've got a whole year. We've got basically a do-over to, you know, step back and say, oh, I could have definitely been doing this better. Because there's always something you could have been doing better.
Yeah.
But we can just kind of step back and really reevaluate ourselves and our training and maybe how our mental state was at the time. And we get to try again, which I think is pretty cool. It's just, you know, I said it on Instagram. I said, it's just, you know, we've got another year to get better. And I think I'm just like taking that and running with it.
I feel like we all, and when I say we, I mean like our group, when we were together the day that the games officially got postponed, we all kind of handled it in a different way. And like I at first was really, really bummed. And I've already talked about the way I was feeling, all that, totally understanding that postponing it was the right thing to do. But like you seemed to be like pretty even keel the whole time.
Yeah.
Like that day, like you didn't seem really that affected.
No, I handle stress in a very odd manner. I'm kind of the person that will ignore it at first, and then it'll hit me down the road like, you know, a million miles an hour, and I'll lose my mind. So when will it hit me? I don't really know. Will it hit me? I don't know. You know, it's not, I've been thinking about it could be worse. You know, the Olympics are still happening.
Yeah.
We still get a chance to go to the Olympics. You know, the Olympics weren't canceled, which they could have been. We're not boycotting, which would quite literally be the worst possible situation to have the Olympics going on and you having to watch them from the couch.
I couldn't imagine how like the Canadian team felt or the Australian team felt when they said prior to the postponement.
I would have lost my mind.
Like there was a period of time when those athletes were like, well, even if this happens, like we can't go.
I don't.
That would have been an odd feeling.
I don't agree with that call.
Well,
for the athletes.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was, I understand that it was a push to get the IOC to postpone, saying, you know, these major nations are not going to come compete. But I don't agree with that call just in case they weren't going to listen. Because there have been so many times the IOC's just done whatever they want to do, which is what they usually do. Don't come after me, IOC. Sorry. That's how I got DQ'd this summer too, but we don't need to talk about that. I roll, which you can't see. But yeah, it's I don't know if I completely agree with that call that they made, because I know USA Swimming would have wanted to do what was best for the athletes, and you know, whether that's in a world health crisis, I don't know if saying we are not allowed to go to the Olympics, if they did happen in December, they could have happened in December.
Yeah.
And then those athletes wouldn't have been able to compete. Like that's not cool.
That's crazy.
I don't like that.
We got a message from Claire Lynn 27 who says, do you think athletes will be prepared for the upcoming meets after being quarantined? That's like a loaded question, because when you say upcoming meets, we don't really know when our next meet's going to be.
Like we have no idea.
Like we have no idea. Well, right now, I just made a video about this week's video. I talk about the announcement that the ISL made. But basically they're starting mid-October to mid-November. Like that's what they're shooting for. So in theory, the only thing that's technically on the calendar right now, actually not in theory, in practicality, the only thing that's on the calendar right now is the start of that ISL season. And that's still like, okay, early. They've made that announcement, but like nothing is set in stone.
And a lot of people aren't swimming right now.
Yes.
Like it's going to take more than a month and a half to get back in shape, which is something I don't know if the ISL quite understands. I understand it's a business, but I don't know the swimming knowledge that goes into what actually needs to happen. But
yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Will people be prepared for it? I think it just completely depends on where you live and where you're at. If we're talking from our perspective, I certainly think that we're in a better position than most people because we still have the opportunities to train in a safe, legal environment, whereas a lot of other people that we know don't. And then there are other countries where national teams are together and having practices and are fully training and are not and are uninterrupted. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I know at least the Americans are in limbo right now. I was talking to Jess Hansen, and she said that so basically the Australians, at least for my understanding, they all train at different little centers that are like they're Australian swimming sponsored. Basically, they're like their little teams. And they have suspended all practices. They're not allowed to swim. So I don't know what they're doing. They might be swimming in the ocean if that's a possibility for them. But yeah, a lot of people aren't swimming. I think that, the answer to that question also totally depends on your age. If you're in elementary, middle school, like you guys are going to be fine.
Yeah.
They shouldn't worry about that.
Yeah.
But if you're in college, later in high school, yeah, it's going to be concerning getting ready for those meets. But I think as long as you're, trying to be active and not, this is technically a break. So, we're not killing ourselves right now.
No, absolutely not.
We're staying in shape, as in shape as we can.
Yep.
But, we're not. Yeah. We're not beating ourselves.
No, we're not grinding the way that we, otherwise would be or we would want to. We're not going 10 swims a week.
Right. But we're being active and doing what we can.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
X Bryson says, why did you disable the comments on your last video? We talked about that a little bit. It's because I last week I put up a video of me and Annie and Lily swimming at this pool that we've been training at. A pool that's not very far away from us. It's a residential area. And I'm not going to go into all the details, but we have been given legal permission to train there in a small environment. And I kind of went back and forth about like, should I show this? Should I not show this? Because on one hand, everybody else out there, can't do this. And like they're being told that they're not allowed to from a legal standpoint. But on the other hand, like if we're still able to and be super appreciative and grateful for what we're doing, I wanted people to be able to see that and like show them that, hey, like me and Lily, like we're still smiling. Yeah. We're still goofing off.
We're still okay. We're still ourselves.
And, that's what a lot of people tune into my vlog to see is like us just goofing off. That's like a big part of it.
Yeah.
And the reason I turned off the comments was because I know that it was just going to be an opportunity for people to come after me.
Yeah.
The overwhelming majority of those people are just trolls that don't understand things. Some people have valid points saying that, that they think it's setting a bad example for their swimmers who like are being told they have to stay home. Maybe that's valid. Maybe that's not valid. But I'm telling you from the health officials that we are in contact with, that are with the state of Indiana, with the police officers in the state of Indiana that we are in contact with. We're doing everything by the book. We're not breaking any laws. And as I said in the video, we're super grateful and very appreciative that we're even able to get into a pool right now because we understand that most people can't.
Yeah.
And so that's why I turned them off. I'm like, being able to, people don't even, it's funny. People go crazy when they all of a sudden they don't have the opportunity to jump on something and to like put in their opinion. Guess what? Yeah. Leaving a comment on a photo or on a video isn't your right. like just because it's almost always an option doesn't mean like it's your right. Like it's my prerogative whether or not I want to let people have that opportunity to say something about something. Yeah.
You're getting heated about this, man.
I know. Well, I'm getting heated about it because I saw a number of people, and I'm not going to go into detail, but a number of people, swimming friends and coaches, get attacked by people because they were posting about how they are still working out. Some of them still have the opportunity to swim. and people were going after them. And once again, I'm not trying to diminish people's perspectives, because some people have valid points and reasons for feeling this way. Like I understand that there are people sitting at home that are upset, that are stewing over this because they're incapable of doing something. And it's human nature. When you see people doing things that you wish you could be doing and you maybe think they're not supposed to be doing it, you want to attack that person.
Right.
And I saw a whole lot of that across the board for a lot of other national team swimmers, and I just didn't appreciate that. So I was like, I'm not going to let that happen to us.
I think the other thing that a lot of people really don't understand is that swimming is really our job. That is the only way, we make money. That's the only way we live our lives. And while, I know a lot of the people coming after you were, maybe age group swimmers and that are upset that they can't swim right now and that think we should be staying home. But like, guys, we're going to work.
Yeah.
Like, that is the only way we pay the bills.
True.
Is by swimming. And, most people's parents are going to work right now. Mine aren't, because they're teachers, but,
yeah,
we have to find a way to fund our lives, and if that's swimming 4 days a week, then that's what we have to do.
I completely agree with what you're saying. I think that their counter argument for that is like, maybe for us, going to the pool and swimming isn't an essential business practice, which is maybe true, maybe debatable, but you're right. I mean, so many people are being affected by this, and like it's so crazy. I was thinking about just how this is going to affect swimmers' funding going into this next year, sponsorships,
right?
The way the ISL is paying people. Like for me, like I have lost sponsors because those companies are not doing well. They don't have the marketing budget. I'll give an example. Like HelloFresh, I still love HelloFresh to death. We had HelloFresh meals tonight.
Right.
But HelloFresh, on the other end of it, they're thriving right now. Like they have so many new customers that they can't keep up with their demand, and so they're not putting hardly any money into their marketing, and so they basically cut off their YouTubers and their sponsorships for the rest of the year. So like that's like a big, and they're one of my biggest sponsors. So like that's a lot of money for me that I was counting on that just went out the window. And so that's just to give a little bit of insight into into kind of what's going on. Fortunately for me, there are other brands that are, still want to sponsor my videos, and that's kind of how we make our living. That's how I'm saving up to prepare to do things in the future and hopefully continue to swim and make videos. But, there are a lot of people that can't rely on the money that they would have been getting through competing or whatever in our little world. And it's concerning.
Yeah.
It's concerning.
Yeah.
I feel like I talked about it in the video that I made today, but the ISL's decision to pay everyone a stipend across the board, I think that's like a real solid character move for them.
I agree. I think that's a good step in the right direction. Whether that's, if that's making some of the more high level swimmers angry, like, yeah, that stinks. But in the end, like you want to have enough swimmers to fill the league, which, at least in my opinion, would have been difficult to do.
I agree.
But now I think if they're going to actually give the swimmers a good way of living, like if we can pay rent every month.
That's all we need to do. We
gotta pay rent. We gotta get groceries.
We gotta pay rent. We gotta eat.
Being a swimmer is not a glorious life.
It's not. It's not. I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the podcast before, but like my senior year when I graduated, there was like a good 6-month period of time where like I didn't have any money and I didn't have any family money to fall back on, So it was like I had to like work. I was washing cars and detailing motorcycles and just scraping together money just so I could pay rent.
Yeah.
And
I think, if I had not gotten good when I did, like that would have been my situation.
Oh, yeah.
I would have had to work.
Yeah.
And like how many NBA players do you know that have a second job?
Yeah, exactly. But that's the hope with this league. If it goes well and if it turns out to be what we hope and want it to be in a few years, any decent swimmer who signs with the team can like make a living and not have to worry about having to get another job. And that's like going to propel the sport forward.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Oh my goodness. Well, that was intense.
Intense. Let's do something
Let's take something more fun. I agree. So this one comes from Ryan N Guy 3N, who says, "Does wearing a latex cap over your silicone cap really help? Do you wear multiple caps when you race?
I do. I go latex under and then silicone on top.
Me too.
But that is mostly because I lose my goggles all the time. And I always have. Like, that's not a new thing.
Why don't you try not wearing sweets?
I can't. I was actually talking to Haley Flickener. And we both like wear like the Swedish type of goggles. Like, obviously, like I wear the tier Swede goggles. But yeah, she's like, I lose my goggles all the time. I was like, so do I. I was like, but I won't wear anything else. Refuse. Do you know how many comments I've gotten about like, what's that string on your goggles? What is that?
Oh, it's probably from kids that like have never seen Swedes.
Yeah, because people don't wear Swedes anymore.
Yeah, you're like the last of the Mohicans on that.
Haley and I are, yeah.
Yeah.
We're it. This is it.
This one comes from Irizaj. I think I just mispronounced your name. I apologize. I'm an idiot. What do you think about vegan swimmers? Do you think they could be the best? Well, so I actually transitioned into a vegan diet for a period of time.
When?
This was...
You are lying.
No, I'm not lying. I did it for almost a month, and it was killing me. It was hard.
Yeah.
I certainly think that it can happen. I think that you can do it. I think it's very, very challenging.
I agree.
Very challenging.
I think maybe a vegetarian diet wouldn't be as challenging.
Way, way less challenging.
Because there are a lot more vegetarian options. Yeah. I know personally for me, like if I had to eat salad every day, I'd shoot myself.
It's not about eating salad every day.
No, but I mean, what are the things I love in life? I love dairy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
Really. I live for cheese.
Yeah.
And ice cream. So I could live off of cheese and ice cream. But like, just the simple things of like, if you're like a hardcore vegan, like you can't eat eggs.
It's hard.
Like not eating,
it's very hard.
Everything has eggs in it.
It can be done, but you have to have a really well-rounded, comprehensive diet, and you have to really know what you're doing.
Yeah,
you do.
I would agree.
It's challenging, but it can be done. It absolutely can be done.
Yeah.
Okay. Addy the Boss 02 says, as a kid, were your practice routines difficult? So I think they mean probably from like a swimming perspective.
Yeah.
I'd say, I mean, when did you start doing doubles? How young? We
had very different paths, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
So basically, I would say you did the hardest thing you talk about.
Shout out Sandpipers.
I did not do the hardest thing possible. So, yeah, I mean, growing up, I didn't. My parents very strategically held me back. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. You know, when I started swimming, I was swimming 3 days a week, and I would go to piano lessons. I missed practice for piano lessons until I was 16. Like every week, I would not go to practice on Mondays because I had piano lessons.
I will never forget. I think we were at like maybe the Olympics, maybe it was in Budapest for Worlds. I don't know, but you sat down with Beisel at a piano, and you guys started playing the piano, and I was dumbstruck how good you guys were. I was like, this is amazing.
I'm not anything compared to her.
She's good.
She's incredible.
Let's go ahead and plug her book for her.
Yes, please read Silver Lining. It is so good.
So our really good, awesome Olympic friend Elizabeth Beisel,
my hero.
She's just one of the greatest swimmers ever. One of the best girls. She wrote an awesome book. Go check it out. Silver Lining.
I cried.
Yeah,
it's brand new. I was there for like part of it, and I cried.
Yeah,
but also like Beisel's literally my hero. Like I would do anything to be like her. Shout out Beisel.
She's the best. I'm doing like a webinar with her sometime soon.
Oh really?
Maybe next week.
I was supposed to do that, and then I said I couldn't do it because I had practice, and then the Olympics got postponed, and then I didn't have practice all of a sudden. But our paths, we got distracted.
Oh yeah,
we were distracted.
Yeah.
So basically, like you know, I was saying my parents pretty much they held me back for a good reason. They wanted me to be able to be a kid. Try out different things, and I started out just going to practice 3 days a week, and I was happy, and I loved swimming, and eventually, you know, that got bumped up as it does with most people. But I would run cross country or play volleyball, or I'd run track in the spring, and I wasn't swimming after age group state for a couple months because I was running track. And then I would say I didn't fully commit to like just solely swimming until I was trying to make Olympic trials in 2012. Unfortunately, I didn't make Olympic trials in 2012, but I didn't start doing doubles till I was a sophomore in high school. I didn't touch a weight till I got to college. And really I was swimming by myself for the majority of my high school.
People should, if they hear that, what they should take away is you don't have to have the greatest training program in the world at a young age to become a good swimmer.
Right. Exactly.
You don't need
exactly. And like I still managed to, you know, and granted, like, I worked my butt off. Like I worked my butt off for this, and do I have a certain level of talent? Yes, but that's not what I credit my success with, especially in high school. It's just that I did what my coaches told me. I had faith in what they were giving me and trusted what they were doing. And I was a really good high school swimmer. Mm-hmm. I made the national team in high school. I was sitting third in the 100 breaststroke going into college with the training that I was doing without touching a weight. So if you're not doing that right now, like it's not a big deal. You can still be good doing what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah. So I was strategically held back. And then I got to college and I like popped off. I got really fast. So it was an incredible freshman year transformation.
Oh man. Everyone knows my backstory. Like we grinded hard, man.
They grinded.
I love it. Seth asks, do you plan on swimming masters one day after your pro swimming career ends? We've never talked about this.
I've thought about this, but we haven't talked about this.
Okay, well, what do you think? Would you do it?
Yeah, I think so. I could totally see, like, especially for like a social thing, maybe like getting up and maybe not even competing. I can't see me not competing though, but just like going and swimming with the group in the morning. Like, why not? It's not super intense. Like, I always feel better after I swim. I know that. I know I get really stressed out when I'm not swimming. I have this
theory that when you get up in the morning and you do a couple things that suck that you don't want to do and you do it regularly, it makes everything else in your life easier. Example, diving in the pool in the morning. That is hard to do. And you don't even realize how hard it is until you have to do it by yourself.
Like
if
me in high school, every morning.
What I mean, like if you're standing in front of a freezing cold pool at like 6 a.m. and you are by yourself and you have to force yourself to get in, that is one of the hardest decisions you will make all day. And if you can, number one, make the decision to jump in, and then number two, push yourself when you don't want to be pushed in the water. Mm-hmm. It's like if you suffer just a little bit in the morning, I feel like it makes everything else a little bit easier.
Maybe not even suffering, but maybe just like doing something.
Yeah.
Like getting up and moving around, I think, and I'm like, I don't even need to go into my PE background right now, but like just getting up and moving is so important in your day. And we're not meant to be sitting all the time.
Yeah.
Like even the other day, like we're not practicing as much as normal. And I was dead tired. And I just got up and it was a nice day. I just decided to go for a walk and like made all the difference. I got back. I felt so much better. Got a little bit of fresh air, and even just something as simple as going for a walk, walking your dog, getting outside, shooting hoops. It can make a big difference on your day and how it goes.
I mean, just the swim we did today, I slept the entire drive up, as you know, and I was like not about it. I was like, I don't want to do this. And then afterwards, I felt so much better after though.
And then he fell asleep again.
And then I was so drained from this weekend. So drained.
Yeah. It was a draining weekend for sure.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I would totally swim masters. I was talking to Josh Davis about this the other day after our podcast. He loves it. He still does it. That guy's a champ.
Oh, he is.
Man, I think I'll definitely.
He told me he'd come do a clinic at the new pool in Evansville.
Ooh, when's that gonna open?
I'm thinking it's gonna be done around the Olympics now.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Huh. So everybody come see my new pool, Lilly King Natatorium, Evansville, Indiana.
That's really what it's gonna be called.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I told you that.
Yeah, you're right.
He doesn't listen to me. I tell him so much stuff and he never listens. God dang.
Brand Song says, what time do professional swimmers usually sleep at?
Does it say Branson?
No, it's BrandSongOh.
Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brand Song.
Yeah. What time do you go to bed at? We've talked about this before. You know how I try to go to bed at like 8:30, yo.
Yeah, I'm like a 9 to 9:30, 9:45.
This leads me to another question. Since we're like on this like weird training zone right now, where we're like kind of training, fortunately, have you been having issues sleeping?
Surprisingly not.
Wow.
Okay, it's really weird because I don't think I'm napping as much as I used to. Mm-hmm. But like when we transition to summer season and we start practice at 6:45 and not 5:45, I have major trouble sleeping.
Okay.
Major trouble. But yeah, right now I really haven't. It's been strange.
I can't fall asleep. I can't fall asleep. Like last night, Allie kept me up because we were watching Twilight and we couldn't stop.
Okay, how late did you actually stay up last night?
Like 10:45.
Okay,
like,
that's
too late.
Fair. That's
definitely fair. Too late. And I mean, we got up at like 7:30 to go work out. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's just way too late. But still, like I'll just lay in bed and I'm like, oh man. So I just like put on The Office or something until I like get kind of sleepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been reading before bed. That helps. What time have you been getting up? Have you been getting up to alarm, or you get up earlier?
At first, when we started doing like CrossFit and gym workouts in the morning, I was getting up early. I was getting up like an hour before, and I was doing like some yoga and some like plyo ball work here in the living room to like wake myself up. But I've stopped because now that I'm having like issues sleeping, I'll try to sleep in as long as I can to prolong, getting up. That's fair. But I'm not a dude who sleeps in either.
I'm the same way.
I don't sleep in.
I'm up like when the sun is up, I'm up.
Yeah, I'm for sure. That's why I got blackout curtains in my bedroom.
Oh, I can't do that.
I had to.
I'd never wake up. And I'm also like really scared of the dark, so that would be just bad. That's bad. But I'm getting the 6 a.m. kitty cat wake up call. That's about it.
Estella family says, "Get many warts?" ?
That is interesting.
Did you?
I have a really gross story.
I used to get so many warts on my feet when I was younger.
When I was a little kid?
Oh my god.
Me too. Do you know why?
What do you mean, do I know why?
Do you know why?
The locker rooms, I think.
No, I wouldn't change my socks when I was like 6.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah, I know. My parents just neglected me, I guess. Yeah, I wouldn't change my socks and I'd get warts. TMI. There you go. There's your Lilly TMI fact for today.
I had to go to like a doctor who would like laser the bottom of my foot because my whole foot was covered in warts.
I never had to get mine lasered. This.
Oh my gosh.
This got weird.
Yeah, real weird. I mean, whatever.
Whatever. We got depressing. We got weird.
We're pretty open books here.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. We don't
go through a lot of emotions.
Here's a good one. Connor_surf says, favorite snack to eat with popcorn at the movies. So with popcorn, you ready for this? Okay. Chocolate covered raisins.
Like in your popcorn?
No. Separate.
Okay, good.
I'm not one of those weirdos.
I was just checking. Just making sure. I mean, I know you're weird, but like, just checking. Okay, that's fair.
Allie's is Sour Patch Kids.
This is gross. Cookie dough bites.
That's not gross.
They're so bad, but they're like so good. And my mom would never let me get them when I was a little kid. And now that I'm an adult and I can do what I want, I get cookie dough bites every time I go to the movies. I also buy Capri Sun weekly.
I read an article that said that, side note, I'm super bummed. Like, one industry that's getting hit hard by this pandemic is the movie theater industry. Hard.
It
like,
sucks.
To the point where some theater chains, like, there is
done.
legitimate concern that AMC, the largest movie theater chain in the world, may not recover. Like, might go under.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
It's so weird because, like, I mean, I don't go to the movies as much as you, but I definitely go to the movies a lot. I'm a fairly frequent moviegoer.
We talk about movies like all the time.
All the time. Yeah. And like I'm a firm believer in going to the movies, and I support the movie industry, and I'd much rather watch it at the theater than watch it on TV. And is it expensive? Yeah, but like it's so much better in the theater. Like I can't watch things from home because I'll be sitting surfing on my phone, or I get distracted. But going to the movies is so much fun.
It really is. It's like my favorite thing.
It's one of the best things ever.
I wish that we had like a really nice theater here in Bloomington. That's my biggest pet peeve or dislike about this town is that we don't have nice movie theaters. They're not.
Have you ever gone to the bathroom in the one by the mall?
It's gross.
If you've been to the bathroom in there, you can survive the Rona. You can make it. If you've
I can't
made it through.
You just went there.
I said it.
It's just a joke. Just jokes, kids.
It's like really not a joke though.
That's so
like I'm pretty serious.
Miss Leia asks, "Will you stay in Bloomington forever?" Probably not.
I don't know.
For a while. I like it here, but
I'm like not a real adult. Even though I talk about being a real adult and buying Capri Sun when I want to. I don't know.
I never thought I would live here this long. Like even when I was in college, I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna stay here."
I could live here.
Yeah, I could see myself living in Indiana for, raising kids.
Granted, like my family's also close to here. Like I'm like an hour 45 from home. Yeah. So this is like most of my family's in Evansville, or like my immediate family's in Evansville, and the rest of my family's in the Louisville area. So like I'm in the home area for me. So
could work.
Yeah. I could see myself staying here. I like Bloomington.
I like Bloomington too. Oh, I love this question. Here we go. This question comes from Max. Opinion on Tiger King. Carol 100% made her husband disappear.
Oh, Carol definitely fed her husband to the tigers.
Definitely.
Okay, I am a horrible human. I did not leave my house yesterday, and I sat and I watched Tiger King all day, and I hate myself because I hated all of it. I hated it. It was disgusting.
It was so entertaining.
Cody tells me to watch redneck television, and I don't like watching rednecks because that is real life. And it was awful, but I couldn't stop watching it. Like, I had to finish 7 episodes in one day. I Uber Eats to McDonald's so I could keep watching Tiger King. That is one of the lowest blows of my life. Like, maybe this is my post-Olympic meltdown. Maybe this is the meltdown I have had from the Olympics being postponed.
I think it's just it's so entertaining because the story of those people is so outrageous that you can't even believe it's real, but it's so real. And to take it a step further, they have so much footage. Like the fact that these people let this camera crew film so much of them and just display and show how ridiculous.
So illegal.
Oh, it's insane.
Awful.
Yeah, it's wrong. Like they should not be.
Don't watch it. It's terrible.
No, you gotta watch it.
You can't watch it. Don't take a lesson from me.
Oh my goodness.
I had a meltdown. I watched it all in one day.
I watched it all in a day. There's a new episode coming. One more.
And I'm gonna have to watch it.
I know.
Gotta know what happens to Joe Exotic.
Gotta know.
It was gross. Oh, fun fact. I've told you this like 3 times today, but I need to tell the world.
Yeah.
Tim Stark, who was one of the guys who owned one of the zoos, the one in Indiana, lives maybe a half mile away, or the zoo is maybe a half mile away from the house my mom grew up in. In Charlestown, Indiana.
Unreal.
Like, no one lives in Charlestown, Indiana.
Unreal. Yeah.
Like, crazy. My mom grew up in the middle of nowhere.
Allie completely refused to watch any part
of it.
Good
for her.
She wouldn't watch it.
Good for her.
Because
I respect that.
She deals worse with animal cruelty than anything in the world. And you don't outright see anything horrific as far as, like, the care of animals, but you're pretty aware.
Do a little bit.
But you're pretty aware of, like, what's kind of going on, and it's pretty bad. But
yeah, I did not enjoy it. I want to watch Dogs 101 or something.
Something happened.
Too Cute. You watch Too Cute on Animal Planet?
Oh my god, it's the best.
Just follow the puppies. They're so cute.
Best.
I need to watch something cute and happy.
Just get another cat.
Okay.
One more. You just didn't even. Okay, I mean, if you say so.
Here's the thing. Like, I've got one cat. I'm like not a crazy cat lady. I have one cat. That is normal. But like once I keep getting cats, it's gonna be a little concerning.
You can have 2. Once you go above 2, I think that's when it gets weird.
That's fair. Because they have to have a friend, right?
Yeah, you can justify 2. Like,
okay.
Like if you get one more, that's when stuff.
I don't want Minnie to hate the other one though. And I don't know how she'll react. She's an old cat.
I don't know how she'll react either.
I don't know. She's awful sweet. We'll see.
All right. Well, this has been fun. We're approaching on the hour mark, so we're probably gonna wrap this up.
We talk a lot.
Yeah, everybody.
We also don't really talk a lot to other people, though.
No, we don't. People don't understand that I am more of an introvert than an extrovert because they only ever see me being like super energetic and pumped to talk to a camera.
I'm the same way. Like people don't get that I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Usually.
It's just way easier for me to like talk to a camera that doesn't interact back with me, you know?
That's fair.
It's hard to describe.
Mackenzie told me I'm an empath.
Apparently. Oh, what?
I don't know. I have to Google it. Apparently I take on other people's feelings and it drains me. Which I can believe. Which might be why Tiger King was exhausting.
I think that Allie's like that a lot.
She is.
She has so much empathy. Like the one thing that I love about Allie is she has so much love and empathy for others. It's also the one thing that drives me absolutely insane. Like it drives me crazy. I'm just like, Allie, stop.
She's in the other room. She can't defend herself right now.
It doesn't matter. She didn't want to be on the podcast.
She wants to be on the podcast with me.
We'll probably do one next week together. We'll just get that third mic.
I think we should do one with the 3 of us.
Yeah, we should.
That would be fun.
We should.
It would be Allie talking the whole time, us going, nodding our
Allie.
heads.
Yes, Allie. Yep. You're right. I do love that color blue.
It works. It all works. It all works. We sound like we're terrible people, but trust me, it's a loving relationship.
Everyone knows we're just sarcastic. Anyway, we appreciate if you've made it this far listening to us. You are a trooper.
God love you.
We appreciate the support, and we hope that this was a fun podcast, and we'll do some more in the future.
Trust us, we have so much stuff to talk about.
We do.
Literally anything.
All right, everybody, that's it. Peace.